Do you have nightmares about not getting back to your cruise ship on time at a port and getting left behind? Or even not getting to your cruise on time? It certainly happens. Hopefully this will never ever happen to you. In today's video, we're going to talk about what you should do to prepare before you get off a cruise ship and what you should do in case anything does happen where you get left behind. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we're just a small travel agency that specializes in cruising. Our only goal here on YouTube is to give you the best information possible about cruising so that you can plan and go on an amazing cruise vacation. Let's get into today's story. Do you have small panic attacks about going on excursions and not getting back to your ship on time? Do you always look at your phone and make sure, did the time change? Was there a time change? Is something going on? What time is it on the ship? I do all the time. I sit sometimes when I get back to the ship and I watch those poor pier runners running back to the ship to try to get back on time. It is super nerve-wracking, and we want to make sure that you don't have any issues on any of your upcoming cruises. So first up, we're going to tell you what you should do to plan ahead before you get off the ship, before you fly to your cruise, whatever it is that you're doing, to make sure that you're prepared in case of any issues. Hopefully you will never need the information. Okay, so number one thing you should do is take photos of everything. Your passport, your driver's license, front and back, your credit cards, front and back, anything that you think you may need in case of an emergency. You can't always use these as like legal identification, but at least you have them and it'll get you to the next level of where you need to go in order to get those real documents just in case, or in case you have any issues at all. So what I recommend is, if you're not comfortable saving them on your phone, putting them in like a Dropbox account or a Google Drive account so that you can access them quickly even if you are outside of the country. So in your cabin before you get off the ship, every single day of your cruise, you're going to get a little piece of paper that gives you the details of what's going on that day. If your cruise line doesn't give you paper anymore, it'll be in the app on your phone. What I recommend is going in there, and on port days, you're going to see port information. Most of the time, they're going to have the information of the port agent, the phone number, the address of different things like the embassy maybe. So if it's not a piece of paper, I recommend snapshotting it and saving those things in your phone before you get off the ship so that you have that information. The other things that you want to bring with you off the ship and make sure you have them, I always make sure that I have paper just in case I lose my phone or have any issues. I have the cruise line's customer service number. I have my travel agent's number, which is me, but I can call our company if I need help. And any port information like the port agent, things like that. Write it on a piece of paper, tuck it and put it in your pocket. That way you have it just in case anything happens. I also take the pictures or snapshots of them just in case as well. And then when you get off the ship, make sure you have your documents, your passport, your driver's license, things like that. And like I said, photos of those just in case. So here's what happens. You get off the cruise ship, you go to an excursion. For whatever reason, you don't get back in time. And the ship is either gone or you get there right at the end. So what do you do if this happens? Number one, take a breath and relax. We're going to figure this out. There's no use panicking. I know everybody says that, right? You don't want to panic. You don't want to freak out. You're going to do that. Just try to remember to calm down. It's okay. We're going to get through it and we'll figure out the next steps. Number two thing I would do is call your travel agent or the travel agency phone number. If you don't have a travel agent, this is an experience where I would tell you maybe it makes sense to have a really good travel agent because they know all the steps to do. Especially if you get a really good cruise travel agent, if you're on a cruise, they know what to do. They know who to call. They can make those calls, jumpstart some things for you, or at least tell you where to go and how to get things done. Number three, I would call the cruise line. Call the cruise line, get customer service on the phone. They can actually connect you to the ship, which is pretty crazy, or they can let somebody know, hey, you got left behind, and they will give you some idea of next steps. Again, travel agent first because they're looking out for you. Cruise line's going to be looking out for themselves, but they will give you some information. Next up, find the port agent. When you get to the pier there is someone who's responsible if you miss the ship. They know somebody's not on the ship. They may already have your luggage. They may have your friends there or your family there waiting to give you your stuff. So a lot of times they'll go in, they'll empty your safe, they'll get your luggage, and they will bring it out sometimes. So next up, you want to take your time, clear all those things out, and then make your next travel arrangements. Some cruise lines are going to let you jump on at the next port if you can get there. You might have to, maybe if there's somebody there and it's really close, maybe you could charter a boat. Might be expensive. Maybe you can get a flight. At that point, you have to also decide, do I just want to go home? Is this experience done for me? I've called the cruise line. I've done all these different things. It's going to be too expensive. I'm just going to fly home from here. Got to make sure you have your passport, make sure they have a good airport there, all of those different things. And then last but not least, figure out how to get your stuff back. If it wasn't left out on the pier for you, is it going to be back on the port? Can you get it at the last day of the cruise, depending on when you miss the ship or you don't get back on? Those are the steps to make sure that everything is handled if, for instance, you do miss your cruise ship. If you do, I'm really sorry. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Nobody wants to miss their cruise. My other tips are, when you get off the ship, bring a watch. Your watch does not change. You want to mark it as whatever time it is on the ship. And I'm not talking about an Apple Watch. I'm talking like an old or regular, just a watch. Get a cheap watch, anything that just has the normal dials on it, where you could set it and you know, okay, I have 4 hours, or this is the time that I have to be back on. It's our responsibility to know what time the ship time is. I've heard so many people say, it's so confusing. Why is it different? Why do they change the time? There's nothing you can do about that. All you can do is manage the expectations that you have to be back on the ship at a certain time. My other piece of advice is get back early. Don't even cut it close to where it's like 30 or 40 minutes before sail away. It's just too nerve-wracking. Don't book excursions that are going to take you to the limit. And then do your research when you're booking excursions. There are plenty of reputable companies. Booking with the cruise line, yes, they will make sure you get back or get to your next place. But there are a ton of great companies out there that know your cruise schedule and get you back to the ship in plenty of time. That's it for today. Let us know below if you have any other tips or tricks for if you get left behind. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We would love for you to subscribe and join our little community here on YouTube. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.